Coming up on this segment of Out and About Art, we're shining a light on human sex trafficking with an original play written by Bartow native Gretchen Suarez-Pena. Trafficked, an original play written by Bartow native Gretchen Suarez-Pena, makes its Polk County debut this month at Lakeland Live. The play, which was produced by local nonprofit Just Write Lakeland, shines a light on the horrific reality of human sex trafficking. I got the chance to learn more from the writer herself, who shared about the process and inspiration for the piece, as well as how she hopes it will benefit everyone who sees it. Let's take a look.
You did it with me. You did it with my friend. What's the big deal? Just do it again.
Here, drink this. I said drink it!
You want to get beaten? Then get in there!
Did I stutter?
Line, you want to eat? Then get in there. That's sorry. You want to eat? Then get in there!
Snort this line and go!
I swear, I will kill your little brother and the rest of your family!
Good job. Tonight, you get to choose between sleeping and eating.
The grooming process can take as little as a couple of weeks to months.
The main inspiration for this piece, when I was living in Miami, I had a friend who was working in victim advocacy for human sex trafficking survivors, and she taught me a lot about this issue. And then when I moved to Polk County and I started writing again, I really wanted to tell this story because I thought it was really important. And then to find out that here in Polk County it is a hotbed, Tampa, the state of Florida is a hotbed for human sex trafficking. And I think the real thing that we want to have everyone understand and know is that this doesn't happen in some far off country. It happens here in the United States, it happens here in Florida, it happens here in Polk County. The play itself took about a year and a half to write. Just Write Lakeland, who's producing the piece this January, they invited me to come. We read the piece as a table read. I got feedback from them, made edits then we did another table read. I got feedback from organizations, from Lakeland PD, from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Got feedback from them and then made more edits. So it's really gone through quite a process of editing. One of the important things to know about human sex trafficking is that social media is a big component of it. So the average age of a trafficking victim is actually 13, and a lot of them are lured and groomed via the social media, but also it's trusted people. So children are trafficked by their families for drug money or just for money in general. People are usually trafficked or abused by people that they trust or that they know. And it's not always that sleazy person in the back alley. It's, the people who are buying and selling sex are people that are your neighbors or people that you meet in the supermarket or professionals. And so you see these busts that happen and you think, oh, how could this person have done this? And you realize that they're a professional that works, here locally. Be aware to vet the people that are around you and who you leave with your kids with, that sort of thing. I mean, it seems like basic knowledge, but it's one of those things that sometimes gets overlooked. I was very afraid to write about this topic. I wish that it wasn't a topic that I had to write about, but I felt really convicted, felt really like it was a really important topic to write about because I really wanted to bring awareness to it. I'm not an expert, so I'm not claiming to be. I just felt it was important to write a piece. I wanted to write this piece because I felt that it was an important issue. But yes, there is a healthy fear that I have about people watching this because I know that it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. It's definitely a risky piece to write, not only just in Polk County, but just in general. It's only playing January 10th through 12th. However, we're hoping to possibly do it again, at some other time. But one of the ways that they can get more information on the piece itself, if they are a theater or want to produce it or somebody wants to, learn more about it, they can go to my website, GretchenSuarezPena.com, and ask me for information. I'd be happy to share with them. But yeah, the hopes is that it will be done again, and then that way more people can see it and be aware of the issue.
My name is Tony MURVIN. I'm the director of Trafficked. If you've seen anything that Gretchen has written, you know it's going to be good. My process is kind of different for every show that I direct or any show that I direct. But for me, it's very much is seeing the stage as my canvas, and the actors are my watercolors or my paints that I get to play with. So for me, everything's very much like painting a picture, painting scenes, broad brushstrokes kind of a thing, and then bringing everything together to make this beautiful portrait. One of the first things that I talked about with the actors is it was going to be a process. It was going to be a process, and that what it involved a lot of was them trusting the best parts of themselves with me, and me doing the same with them, and coming together to create this, to help bring this beautiful piece of art alive. It's very heavy, and when you're in the middle of doing this, you're digging into some really deep places in yourself, and it's finding that moment. For me as an actor and a director, I always feel that there is a moment where you call what I call catching the energy, and there's a moment where you find that in your rehearsal process where you catch an energy, and then what's going on with the piece that you're working with. There's that moment where as an ensemble you come together and you catch that energy together, and then there's a moment during the process when you're on stage and you're actually performing it where you catch that energy with your audience as well. So that's, for me as an artist, what I always look for. Bringing the emotions out, that comes with time with the actor and how they're connecting with the role and with each other. It catches you, and then you have to be willing to give over to it, and then that's when you find those emotional releases.
My name is John Durbin. I'm playing Officer Paul Smith in the kind of the history of trafficking. Police departments used to, you could be bought off, you could be bribed by the traffickers, but he's stepped out of that mode and went against it and went in and rescued a good bunch. It's a fabulous role to play. I've been doing plays for 35 years. It's always been comedies, but be able to do something that's got this much meat to it, it gets you really thinking and gets you working. And it's definitely a show to make you think. It's going to make the audiences think. It's going to make people say, okay, was that girl I saw sitting at the gas station waiting for somebody to pick her up? Was she just waiting for the family to come? What's going on? If you want this play to work, and as an actor, this is one show you have to let your guard down. You have to become the ensemble. You have to work with the other actors and actresses. You have to mingle. You have to connect with them. You cannot just go out there and say lines. It will not work. It's a good play to do. It's a great play for an actor, because it is so much good work to do in it. This is not going to be the light-hearted, funny show, but it is a very necessary show. It's a show that you need to see, you need to be aware of, especially if you're a young parent.
My character is Dr. Anna Sacco, and the story really revolves around her story. It's actually really wonderful because you get to see the progression of Anna from being a teenage girl who is trafficked through her rescue and into her adult age, where she is becoming an advocate for changing the things that are revolving around sex trafficking. For me personally as an actor, it was important for me to read more stories, real stories about people who may have gone through stuff like this, and it gives me a better insight about the mental and emotional, psychological, process that they have gone through, and that helps me to relate to my current character. Not an easy task, at all, especially with the heavy subject matter. Just like studying for an exam, you just have to do your research and prepare. It was very shocking to me the age range, specifically on the spectrums of how young some of these victims, are when they're lured into this world. Also, the fact that it really literally is in our own backyards. That's very, very shocking, because it's things that we see on the news all the time, but it's never things that we see that are in our domestic front. And I think it's tough for people to look in, and see that in our own communities and neighborhoods, there are drastic things that need to be addressed and changed. So that's the most shocking part to me. If I can be blunt, I would like this play to really wake people up and smack people in the face, you know, and say, hey, people can make a difference. You know, and I think that that's something that a lot of individuals don't understand, that just the mere process of being able to get more information. We live in an information society, and while that has an awful lot of negative aspects to it, the positive aspect is we've got access to information. And the more things that you know, the easier it is for you to have conversations about it, you know, and the more conversations that happen, the more actions that can take place. So I want people to wake up. I want people to realize that there are problems here that exist and that you as an individual can absolutely make a difference in changing any areas of opportunity that we have.
Trafficked will make its Polk County debut during the weekend of January 10th at Lakeland Live. To buy tickets and for more information on upcoming work by Gretchen, you can follow her on Facebook by searching for Plays by Gretchen. You can also visit her website at GretchenSuarez-Pena.com.